Enable notifications by ringing the bell.
And not the or.
I can't say much of a headbanger.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
maybe we can convert you.
What about foot tapping?
Foot tapping's okay. I mean,
I foot tap at shows when my neck is sore from headbanging already too much. It's perfectly legitimate.
there's one riff. I swear, every time I hear it, I got a headbang.
So
and if they have it in this, I'm gonna okay. Oh, I guess I'll save that for when I'll talk about that on.
That's cool.
So, Micah, this is a little bit more of an education for you in terms of metal and all things that are metal. Nick and I both are of the school of hard rock and heavy metal, and there's a certain motion that majority of metalheads and hard rockers love to do. It's often been the dance move that people have called it. You know, where there's b-boying there. For like rap, for like certain hip hop and rap. There's b-boying, breakdancing, and all that. For rockers and metalheads, headbanging. That's, I mean, honestly, it's just you just see like a bunch of heads just bobbing up and down, just like, and hair flipping in the air and everything like that.
Yes.
And Nick's got his hair down already. So you may very well see some hair go flipping,
and the microphone go flying across the room.
Exactly, and if that happens, God help that microphone.
But this is try not to headbang, so I'm gonna try not to lose.
Yeah, try not to, but
yeah, it's hard though.
There's several riffs that, like, there's one in particular. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, holy crap, and I just can't help but headbang to it because of how good it is. But anyway.
Do we have a rule as like a set rule as to what point you've lost at? Like, is this a thing where if your head starts to bob, you've lost, or do you have to go into like a
like if you like? I think
is this meant to be a serious competition? Like, try not to headbang, really?
Well, yeah, because dude, you like people can feel
it's harder than you think when you're into the music stuff.
It's just like all of a sudden you're like you find yourself tapping your foot, tapping your fingers, and then I think foot tapping and finger tapping, that's okay, but I think that can be a lead up to eventually you nodding, and then because nodding like okay, whenever you hear the song you're like, yeah, nodding like that, like non-rhythmically, I think that's okay. But the very moment you start to feel the rhythm, and then all of a sudden you just go, you just start feeling it, you're just like,
somebody's gonna rip off my idea. I just have it. I wonder if this is already a thing, but I mean, there could even be a genre of this that's like try not to break down face. It's like just where the breakdown is meaty.
yeah, try not to. Yeah, like the stone face challenge. You can call it the stone face challenge. Like you have to be like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden you just hear the music, and all of a sudden you're just like, yeah. Yeah.
For some, I would say this is arguably harder than a try not to laugh challenge, because you can hold your breath and stuff to try not to laugh, but I don't really know what to do to avoid feeling like the things that this kind of music
like this right here. I think like you holding your neck to where you.
I feel like that's cheating.
No, I know it is. It's a lot like covering your mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it's gonna be difficult because I love headbanging. But okay, let's get this on screen. Let's see what we got. Chorus, Loudwire.
Loudwire is good.
Oh God! I remember when we watched this with Heather. Jesus.
It already feels wrong.
I know. My neck hurts. Over 1 million Russians out there. None of them can speak your freaking Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch! Nope, I ain't gonna do it. I can't.
We didn't get a pre-warning that this was like 5-star difficulty either. My brain is like, what are you doing?
Oh no! Oh no!
Do we lose if we air guitar?
I don't think so. God, Mercy has hurt so bad not to headbang. Oh, it hurts not to headbang, dude. God, look at Jonathan just going into... All of them are doing it, man. Look at that.
It's like, I have to, like, really think about it. I was like, am I subconsciously headbanging? Have I already lost?
Oh, no. Oh, Exodus, Jesus.
Some of the quality on these clips is just not great, though.
No. I think going through the effort of, just playing them live instead of just playing the raw clips, I think that's one way to avoid copyright and another way to like give the live element something, because the live element, you just can't help yourself sometimes.
Right.
Oh, I love that riff. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
It's definitely hard because, like, I could the whole
feel
time
it.
it's like,
I
it was like, what am I actually headbanging?
God, I could feel it so much. I was just like, stop it, you're gonna do it.
Micah's probably just like, y'all are weird, man.
That's all right. I mean, like, this is about as much as I'll ever do. It's like a head bob.
Yeah.
I have no interest in headbanging.
That's fine.
It just seems painful.
That's fine. Well, okay.
It is sometimes.
I just feel like it's like asking for a screaming headache.
It's not really a head as much as like when I'm doing shows, like I get real into it, so I'm like, smashing my hair all over the place and stuff, and then like afterwards, like I'll be standing against the wall and I'll be like, my back hurts so bad.
Right. It's just like all your.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one right here. This is one no matter what. And by the way, the challenge is over now, so I can headbang all I want to here.
Yeah.
But this riff, this is Fear Factory. This is after Dino Cazares left in 2002. This is before he joined. Before he rejoined back in like 2014.
Oh right, I was gonna say, I forgot he left.
He did. Yeah, he did in 2002, and he came back in 2014 when the original lineup reformed, or when most of the original lineup reformed, and the guitarist here was actually long-serving bassist Christian Olde-Wolbers, who I swear, dude, some of the riffs he came up with are so underappreciated. This
Did I tell you what I got to witness, by the way?
What?
I actually got to see Fear Factory whenever they had Gene Hoglan and Byron Stroud with them. It was sick as fuck.
They had Gene. You saw him with Gene Hoglan.
Yeah. Because I was stoked because my buddy was like,
dude.
they're gonna be here, and I'm like, dude, Gene and Byron from Strapping Young Lad are playing with them right now.
Well,
and,
dude,
like,
Gene
my buddy was like,
fucking Atomic Clock.
my buddy
dude.
was like, yeah, they're pretty good, and I was like, by the way, you do know that Gene's also like basically Pickles, right? And not his voice, but he plays the drums for Death Clock, and he's like,
he's the Atomic Clock. He is the Atomic Clock.
Yeah.
The man is like has the kick triplets down. Like the man invented them pretty much, made them really popular in metal, like as it is now, and everyone uses them now.
Yeah.
And
because it's just an easy way to count it and get the double bass really fast and on point.
Oh yeah, like and his technique is how he moves his foot. It's wah 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 wah. It's just like it's almost like a wave motion almost. How he moves his foot.
I think my
really
drummer
crazy.
probably does that. I can't remember if I talked to him about it or not. I need to ask him if so. I need to be like, you need to check out Gene Hoglan, man.
Oh yeah, but
I'm sure he knows.
But this right here, Fear Factory, this is one of their most underappreciated songs. It's called Transgression. Just this riff alone that Christian Olde-Wolbers comes out with is just like, oh Lord. But just listen. Okay, I can't play too much more, otherwise we'll get hit with a copyright claim. But God, dude, I love the riffs that Christian came up with whenever he was playing lead guitar. And I'm sad that he left, but he left because he'd been with Fear Factory since like 1993, and he wanted to stay on and actually like play guitar with Dino, but they made it adamantly clear they only wanted one guitar player.
You want to hear the first couple of seconds of one of my favorite ones real fast?
Sure.
Redneck by Lamb of God.
There it is. Redneck by Lamb of God. All right. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, it's the official video.
Oh, you think?
Well, I mean,
okay,
it'll probably be
we'll do this
okay. Yeah.
All right. Oh, I like that too. Oh, I like that. I like how he goes about that. I like
Whoa, so goddamn easy to ride.
Damn, I like that. I like that, dude. I like how the riff flows. It goes all over the place, but yet it doesn't feel like it's lost.
Yeah.
Like sometimes whenever they start up a riff, like you can feel where it came from. You can feel the main notes that are associated with it, and when they try and go somewhere else to like add a little bit more originality to it, sometimes it can get lost and it can feel a little bit conflated and feel a little bit just.
Well, it's really easy to go into like a generic kind of metal sounds because there's certain things that are just like, staples. Like metal bands don't really get away with writing albums without including them. Just like kind of like I would say like palm muted like notes and stuff like that. And like stuff like that. You just really easily fall into doing things that lose the uniqueness. Well, so it's like truly impressive when metal bands do write stuff that's like incredibly unique and it sounds like itself and everything constantly.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons that I respect Lamb of God is because they always have like their own sound on guitar and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like there's another band CKY that I've never heard.
Yeah.
Like any band sound anything like them in the way that they write.
Can't Kill Yourself. Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, their guitar tone is like so good.
Yeah,
so unique.
Certain guitarists like have tones that like it's very hard to mimic them. I mean, Greg Allman, you know what his main thing was? An overdriven Marshall 50-watt Marshall amp head. That's it, and a half stack. He loved that, and he loved to amplify that sound instead of having like a wall of amps, like Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman would have from Slayer. And same thing with Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, he had a certain setting on his phaser effect that he would have that people for so long tried to figure out. And Eddie's just like, you know what? I can market this. So he goes and he makes a phaser that only goes to the settings that he had. And he markets that and makes a killing off of it. Same thing with Dimebag Darrell. Dime had his thing, and it was sort of a trade secret with him that he only shared with a few guitarists. Case in point, Zakk Wylde. He shared it with Zakk Wylde a little bit. But
Zakk released like his own wah pedals and stuff too.
Yeah, same thing for Dime. Dime released the Dime Vision, I think it was called. And then there's just people who do nothing but use effects pedals, just like the Edge from U2.
Yeah.
Have you
that
seen...
was actually one of my favorite things too about Rocksmith is as you play through the songs in there, it unlocks the tone of the guitar.
Yeah.
Like and they have like the signature tone, as they call it, for like most of the bands that are at least on their like original playlist, and they have it for a lot of the DLC too. And so it's like if you like the guitar tone from a band, you can actually play around with it on Rocksmith, and that was really cool to me.
Oh yeah,
because you could like learn how to play like say Queens of the Stone Age song and unlock their tone, and then you could go be like, all right, I wonder what Mastodon sounds like if they were to play with Queens' tone, and,
nice,
and stuff like that.
Nice. But I'm not gonna watch this video, but the Edge, like, he predominantly depends on effects instead of using like custom amp heads like a Mesa Boogie or a Bo Diddley High Watt. Instead, he uses an effects pedal like those two huge like cabinets behind him are just effects centers that he just constantly tweaks, constantly works with, and tries to find new sounds to work with. And it's part of that I can respect different ways of playing the guitar. It's just like people who rely solely on technique. You know, case in point, Eddie Van Halen, though he has his effects and everything, technically he's a wizard. Like, you hear Eruption, it doesn't matter if it's with the effects or not. That's technique. That's a killer technique that he tapped into and made changed the game forever. Same thing with Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page and his way of playing. Jimi Hendrix as well. Although Hendrix went with the feel instead of with the full technique. He had the technique, but he felt where the music was going and he went with it. Yeah. And that's one thing I really respected about Hendrix.
He also is really cool because I can't think of like a better example before him of like some of like the controlled chaos type sounds he brought into his music.
The wah pedals that he would use to in like songs like Voodoo Child. You hear the wow 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 wow. Next thing you know, here comes Peter Frampton with the talking box, and Frampton Alive when he does that album, and he makes his guitar effectively talk like wah 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 wah. It's like and you see the more stuff that's added into the pot, the more stuff that can jump out and great things can happen from the drop of a hat like that.
No, I don't think enough metal bands really credit him because like you hear metal bands just credit everybody else, but like Hendrix like had some of like the crunchiness and like the squeals in his guitar that I didn't really hear many places before him that I feel like had to be like an inspiration to like Black Sabbath and some of the early metal bands
you can definitely hear it.
Like it just I don't see where else that could have come from other than there,
You people like actually there was a music teacher of mine. He actually accredits Hendrix with giving birth to so many genres of music. Case in point, electric blues, because a lot of people say Muddy Waters is the king of electric blues, but Muddy Waters played through an amplifier, but he never had effects to go along with it. In which Hendrix modified electric blues to mean, more, louder, more, and more crunch to your effects.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people will credit Jimi Hendrix with funk as well because his guitar sound effects, and you go to like you go to George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, and you hear the guitar effects they have in that, and it's just like, oh, so they're using effectively the same rig Hendrix did, except they're playing a more of a scratch pattern with their strumming than Hendrix did. Hendrix did scratch pattern stuff, but he often went into like melodies with it instead of using effectively what James Brown would say was like everything is a drum. Like treat every instrument you play like a drum. Like treat your trumpet like a drum. And people be like, what do you mean by that? Like make it hit. Make it hit like you'd hear it. Like in his songs, like you hear the dun 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 dun, and it's like that's like a drum hit in James Brown's mind. He said everything is a drum. Everything like because everyone can play a drum. Like everyone can like come up with a beat like that.
Yeah.
Instead, put that into different instruments. Like instead play a horn.
He's like emphasizing like the rhythm.
Yes.
Like, over like I guess the melody. I don't necessarily agree with that because I'm like that could definitely be an effective like style of playing, but like there's a lot of people that don't do that make instruments flow in very beautiful ways that wouldn't sound the same if you were doing it with that, going at it with like the play it like a drum mentality.
Well, that's what. Well, he wanted that for everyone to have that as a basis, but he never discouraged like melody unless it clashed with the music, unless it like fully clashed with the music. In which, whenever Clyde Stubblefield came up with the funky drummer, actually I will play that just the breakdown. You hear this and you'll immediately recognize it.
At the same time, it works really well for metal in terms of like play your instrument like a drum because there is a lot of percussive sounds that come out of guitars and bass and metal as well.
Yeah, let's see. There's much changed up the entire song to fit this right here because he heard this and he knew Clyde had stumbled onto something through his offbeat playing, and like instead people play on beat like basic 4 pattern, and then of course there's fourth there's 3/4 and then switch it up. Like Clyde Stubblefield went all over the place. Like here he goes and he like adds in like little drum, like little quick, like Buddy Rich style like drum hits and everything. It's really good. I love how Clyde Stubblefield played this.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about the grand scheme of music and everything. So hey,
well, see, people are sometimes confused when you're like metal incorporates all genres, and then you see the conversation we just went where we got to just from a metal reaction.
From a metal challenge. Yeah. So okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. We're going to end this before we go on any further. So, until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
Micah.
Nick.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out.